Hadith number 3 was mentioned in chapter number 2. Dutifulness to one's mother. The authority of Muawiyah ibn Haida. What's his name in Arabic? I don't know. Muawiyah ibn Haida, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Prophet said, that he asked the Prophet, O Prophet of Allah, whom should I be dutiful most? He said, your mother. Then your mother. Then your mother. Then your father. Then the next nearest relative, and then the next nearest. So this hadith talks about the issue of being kind to your mother more than anyone else. Why? Why does Islam encourage us to be more tolerant, more kind to the mother than the father? First of all, by experience, who do you fear most? Father or the mother? Father. No one thinks twice. You fear your father more than your mother. That's why you always take the shortcut. Mother, I need this, I need that. Why ask me? Ask your father. No. I cannot ask him. You ask him. So you keep on insisting on your mother more than your father. My wife, when it comes to waking up the girls for Fajr prayer, she spends 40 minutes waking them up. And she comes with years on her shoulders coming, I'm tired, I cannot do this. Can you help? I said, yeah, sure. Hey, wake up. Immediately they wake up. I don't know why. I don't have a stick in my hand, but this is something that Allah has put in the father. The mother can, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Sam, they're not listening to me. Said, bint, meaning girl. And khalas, stops. That's it. I never beat them. I never shout at them. But this is sufficient. This is from Allah. Not because I'm a sheikh. I know all of you have experienced this. This is why it is extremely important, threefolds than the father, to be dutiful to your mother. Why? The mother is weak. The mother is vulnerable. The mother can be insulted by the son or by the daughter, while the father wouldn't be. The mother has more rights over you than your father. Why? It's the father who buys me the car. It's the father that provides for me the shelter, the food, the clothes, the school. What does my mother do? The mother does everything. She's the one who carried you in her womb for 9 months. And if you see the agony and the pain of labor, us men cannot do this. Can you be with your wife in labor time? No, I cannot. I sit and cry next to her. I cannot do this. Yes, I can go to the gym and I can work out for 2 hours without her. I cannot have the pain she's having. And after that, sleepless nights for at least a year. When the child is suffering, stomach ache, breastfeeding, not sleeping on time, I usually kick my wife out. Say, live next door. And the second, I have work, I have to sleep. She has no problem. So all of this, and you go on from year 1 or 2 until you are a grown-up man, and she cares for you. Whenever you're sick, whenever you're hungry, whenever your clothes need ironing, whenever you have a problem, you don't go to your father and say, Father, I met this girl and I love her. He will smack you in the eye. You'll go to your mom. He says, how old is she? Where does she come from? She is affectionate. She has a lot of feelings for you. She loves your success, and she loves you when you fail. Your father loves you only when you succeed. When you fail, you're not my son. You're somebody else. But now, when you are doing well, He loves you. Your mother loves you no matter what happens. Even if you're a drug addict, even if you go to prison, even if you are the Imam of Al-Haram, she loves you. And you're always her child until you get married. Then you're someone else's child. This is why she's jealous from her sister, from her daughter-in-law. And problems come. This is not our problem anymore. Let's not go into that. So, being dutiful to your mother is extremely important in Islam. In the book Al-Bukhari, Al-Adab Al-Mufrad, there is a hadith, beautiful hadith. It's not with us today. When Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, was in Hajj, and this Yemeni man from Yemen has his crippled mother on his shoulders. So she's like 40 kgs. Nothing much, but imagine carrying her all the way and putting her on your shoulder. And he's doing tawaf. And while doing tawaf, he says in poetry, إِنِّي لَهَا بَعِيرُهَا الْمُذَلَّلِ إِن تُذْعَرْ رِكَابُهَا لَمْ أُذْعَرِ. He's boasting, saying that I am my mother's humble camel. If all the rides around are scared, I am never scared, and I'm always carrying her with bravery. And then he looked at Ibn Umar, doing tawaf with your mom on your back. I know people ashamed from holding their mother's hands in the market, getting her out of the car and getting her into the car, helping her when they're 70 or 80 years of age, ashamed. This is not befitting. Why doesn't the maid come? Why doesn't my sister come? Well, so he says to Ibn Umar, "Oh Ibn Umar, do you think I have repaid my mother? Doing Hajj, carrying her. This is something, who can tolerate this?" Ibn Umar said, "By Allah, you have not even repaid one construction of her labor. Even one pain of her labor, just a single one, this is not sufficient." Now, compare apple to apple. When was the last time you kissed your mother's feet? When was the last time you brought joy into your mother's heart? Being dutiful. Compare how you treat your wife and how you treat your mother. I will not go into rights, because this would require probably a different workshop and it will make people angry. However, this is important for you to think. The wife has to think, how does she treat her mother and her husband? Although her husband comes as a priority, this doesn't mean that you cannot be kind, call her every day 6-7 times. I know people who live in the same city, see their mother only twice a week for half an hour. From my relatives, they come to see their mother for 1 hour a week. They live maybe half an hour apart. What kind of a son is this? If you don't stick to your mother's feet, even if she's a kafir, even if she's not a Muslim, this is the time to show her the beauty of Islam by being a real Muslim. See, talk is cheap. I can talk forever, but you judge me according to my actions. I judge you according to your actions, not on how many hadiths you know by heart or what you do or what you do not do. Now, if we look at how the people of the Salaf used to deal with their mother, you'll be shocked. I'll give you a few examples. Urwa ibn Zubayr is the nephew of Aisha. May Allah be pleased with her. You know Aisha, the mother of the believers. He said, if your parents anger you, never ever look at them straight in the eye with anger. How many times have your children looked at you in anger? It's like a stab in the heart. Sometimes we do it and we do not realize it. Your father, your mother says a remark you don't like. What do? You give them this look that they wish they had not brought you into this world because of that. Your mother says, your wife did not call me for a whole week and you look at her like this, you're not a dutiful son. You're a bad son. He says, Muhammad ibn Sirin, may Allah have mercy on his soul, one of the great tabi'een. Whenever he was at the court of his mother, he used to lower his voice to the extent that people thought he was sick, just because he was in the presence of his mother. Look at the respect they had. When you are at your mother's side, what do? You laugh, you joke, you raise your voice until your mom says, lower it down a little bit. This is not the way of the Salaf. He used to lower his voice until people thought he was sick. One of the Salaf, his mother calls him from the end of the hall or the house. And he says, yes, mom, so that she can hear him. And he thinks, what have I done? I raised my voice. He frees 2 slaves. He thinks that he had done a sin. He frees 2 slaves for the sake of Allah to compensate for his sin. A lot of the Salaf, and this is narrated by a number of scholars, they used to refuse to eat with their mother from the same dish. Why? They says, I'm afraid that my mother would have looked at something she liked and my hand was quicker. Now, if you sit with your mom and with a dish of fruit in front of you, before even she looks, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, he cleaned the plate white. And his mother even did not reach out. No, the Salaf would not do this. They would always give preference to their mother. Let her eat. After she's finished and satisfied, you may try to eat as well. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ wanting to perform jihad. So the Prophet asked him, is your mother there? He says, yes, she's alive. He said, stay with her. He asked him twice. He asked him 3 times. And then the Prophet told him, stick next to her feet because paradise is there. Now, compare this hadith to the many youngsters who come and say, we want to go to Syria for jihad. We want to go to Iraq for jihad. We want to go to Afghanistan. We want to go to this and that for jihad. MashaAllah, good. What did the Prophet say, alayhi salam? Stick close to your mother's feet. Shaykh, this is difficult, wallah. To stay next to my mother's feet and obey her, this is difficult. I'd rather have a bullet. This is strange. People do not understand Islam as it's supposed to be. There are priorities. Follow the priorities, you enter Jannah. Follow your own priorities. I don't guarantee that you will enter anywhere you want. Now, one would say, my mother is evil. There are evil mothers? Yes? Are there evil mothers? Astaghfirullah. Yes, there are. This is a fact of life. However, this is your test. I get so many phone calls from sisters crying, from brothers complaining of how evil their mothers are. And they're right. But this is their test from Allah. If your mother was kind, loving, compassionate, and willing to do anything for you, where is the test of being dutiful? You have to be respectful and dutiful. The test is when it's the opposite.